All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Look at that. I started right on time. Oh, it just ticked over to 8:01. Wednesday, March the 18th, 2026. Fakeologist show with Fake Nukes Phil and Jim Rizoli here to harass them. How's everybody today?
Very good.
Here, everyone's ready, willing, and able? And all
Sure.
that?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Where's Southern Israelite? He couldn't make it today, Phil. I'm sorry. Your blood pressure pills will get a break today.
it's all good.
Yeah, you're an easygoing guy. You can roll with the punches. That's what we all like about you, really. Nothing
Sure.
bugs you.
I mean, yeah.
Well-
The Amazon and YouTube do a lot to warp people's minds,
Amazon and YouTube, yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. What about yours, Jim? What's your opinion?
About what?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Well, I guess Phil got a new dog.
Oh, Rocky 2?
Rocky too, except she's a girl. I called her
Okay.
Dixie because
Dixie
I
Chip?
can't tolerate any Yankees in my house.
Oh, nice.
So she's
Okay. Dixie.
Southern Belle from Dixie.
All right.
What's the dog's name?
Dixie.
Oh, Dixie.
Is it Dixie? Okay. You're not whistling Dixie, are you?
I'm whistling Dixie. Oh, and she's finally come up on the bed. She's been shy about going up on any of the furniture.
Okay,
now,
that's a good way to be. Is she
Well,
a rescue or a brand new dog?
Yes, I rescued her from a Mexican family who had too many dogs because they all have too many dogs because they don't know how to manage dogs, and so she is a rescue. And
okay, that's good. So you did rescue the dog.
Yes.
That's really good of you. That's a great way to be.
I just kind of got her before she went to the shelter.
Yeah.
Because they were going to take her to the shelter if I didn't take her.
Let's see if this
Okay.
So, as you can see, she looks a lot like Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a cutie. Small dogs are easy to maintain. I mean, this dog is like a cat. I mean, she just goes potty in the same spot and doesn't chew on things and doesn't bark. And so she's really easy to take care of,
Is she spaded?
Yes. Well, they showed me a scar that showed where she was spaded, which I was surprised because I didn't expect them to have fixed her.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to take her to the groomers tomorrow. And once she's all shaved up, I'll be able to see the scar better. And the groomer will be able to tell me if she's been spayed or not. And then we'll, and yeah, she'll be looking real handsome after tomorrow, after the groomer. So name her Dixie because I don't allow no Yanks in my house. Never a name so sweet as Dixie. And there,
What kind of dog is it, Phil?
Learning. I'm thinking it's a Chihuahua Poodle mix.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Sycamore Knox says Drake, the intellectual snake. That's nasty. Come on, don't dump on someone when they're not here. Sorry.
Yeah. Drake's not here, so we're not going to dump on him. We can make comments about Amazon and YouTube.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about Drake directly.
Oh, that's not kind. We'll let Jim do that on his own show.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, here we go. Okay, there we go. There's today's date, FAK1236, March 18th, 2026. Okay, yeah, I was just messing with my sound here. So I think it's working. Okay.
I mean, Drake did a video of us and we weren't there.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I don't know why we can't talk about him. I mean,
we can. I was just joking.
Well,
the guy behind his back. That's all.
That's the problem I get with a lot of people who have problems with me is they can't understand why I don't understand their information. I said, well, you got all your information from the usual source, and like what Drake would say, the popular source. You got your information from the popular source, and so of course I don't understand you because you've done you've done no analysis and no critical thinking about the source where you got that information. And you know,
I don't know if that's true. I'm going to defend Drake a little bit because I think he's onto something. But okay, keep going.
Well, that's fine. And I don't get into theology. He definitely knows more about theology than me, but I just have not found any truth in theology. Other than the fact that the Jews seem to be obsessed with the number 6 because, you know, the whole 6 million and the Holocaust and the whole Saturday thing about
all the Kabbalists, not just the so-called Jews, the fake Jews. I would say,
and the Star of David
numerology
has 6 points and 6
not
lines.
to mention 1-8. And I just listened to a podcast on. I have to put it up on my blog. I just listened to a podcast that my neighbor did on JFK Jr. and all the fakery around that. Oh my goodness, he did a really good job.
Oh, which
he's
one?
He's not really a fakeologist. His show is called Right on Radio. Let's see if he's on Rumble. Right.
Well, I might
on
steal
radio,
that.
Rumble.
Because,
yeah. I'm going to send it to you. There's nothing wrong with stealing as long as you attribute.
Yes.
So here it is here. Let me just put it up on the Brave browser. Got 2 browsers going here because BitChute runs better on Brave because it blocks the ads. Here's my friend here. This is my friend Jeff. He's a real person. And
well, good. I'm glad he came to the
here it is. Here,
JFK Jr. faked his death.
His last show. I'm going to promote him, even though I'm not sure he's a big fakeologist. But he's the guy that got a Bill Cooper mail out in the 90s. Bill Cooper allegedly mailed out all kinds of tapes. And my buddy got one in the 90s. So he's been awake since the 90s.
Well, I used to listen to Bill Cooper, but now I understand where Bill Cooper was misdirecting, and so I don't listen to Bill Cooper anymore. And,
well, you know what? So, even if you know he's misdirecting now, he's still a great listen. Jim, did you ever listen to him?
Not really. No.
No, he's really good. I don't care even if you think he's controlled by the ONI. He said he allegedly worked for Office of Naval Intelligence, which meant he's military.
Yeah, that's a big red flag right there.
That's a red flag. Well, yeah, they're in the know. But listen to this show a bit. I'll play a bit.
Okay.
Let me just skip. Oh,
particular episode.
He looks a little funny today. He usually wears his hair in a bun, and he's got this Bro Lives look. I usually listen to his podcast, so I don't see him, which is this is another reason why I do not do video. Not a good look. But let me just find it here.
He looks like a terrier.
Well, he's a bit of a godcaster.
Oh, okay.
But Jim might like him. Jim, you might like this guy. He's a godcaster. He always does passages from the Bible. Maybe Diane would like him. Well, you got to say the same about Jim. Jim does a lot of godcasting on his walk and talk. Right,
yeah,
Jim?
I just have not found any truth.
I talk about some stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, there are elements of the Bible I agree with.
Kind of makes fun of it, but they show some evidences, and it's. I think it's fair to poke fun at it. It's crazy sounding. So listen to this short clip.
John F. Kennedy Jr. was the son of John F. Kennedy, the 35th president of the United States. Tragically, JFK Jr. was killed in a plane crash in 1999. Or was he?
Think you will ever run? Did you ever run? Is that something people? Being an editor of a political magazine, you're able to be in politics without really being in politics.
Right.
You know? Right. So it's like being the vice president, I guess. But,
yeah. What if he were about to reemerge as the vice president of Donald Trump?
Who's going to be your vice president pick?
I'll let you know first.
Who, by the way, is still the president? What do we need to know?
Sure. So there was this figure Q who was giving these anonymous clues, and then someone named R shows up and starts saying, all of this is really about JFK Jr. And so that's kind of where it begins. And eventually Q comes back and kind of says, like, the JFK Jr. stuff's garbage. You know, what have you been tricking all my people? But the JFK Jr. stuff really starts there, that JFK Jr. faked his death to take on the deep state and help Donald Trump. So I want to point out here that R is the letter after Q. That's sort of the explanation for that.
Is it? Or is it, Will?
Kennedy, the father, is killed by the deep state, you know, in 1963. JFK Jr. sees this and says, oh man, the deep state might come for me, and I want to get revenge on them for murdering my father. And so for years, he builds up this relationship with Donald Trump, you know, because they were both sort of these New York socialite figures. There are pictures of them together. And so this is used to suggest that they were like best buddies.
This letter that you got from JFK, August 19th, July 19th, 99. Your father passed away when?
Right.
In July?
JFK Jr., that's exactly correct. He just, I mean, it must have been the last thing, one of the last things he did. He was a great guy. He was a friend of mine.
Dear Donald, I read over.
Then in this storyline, JFK Jr. fakes his death in this plane crash to sort of go undercover and sort of lay the groundwork for the QAnon journey and eventually emerge. He was going to replace Mike Pence.
Won't you read this little letter right here?
I don't know. I won't play anymore. I just wanted to give you a taste of.
That's the QAnon version.
That's the QAnon thing. Yeah. What do you think of it?
And that's to discredit the fact that he really faked his death. And so the QAnon is designed to make anybody who thinks like me look like an idiot because and people tell me all the time, oh, you must be one of those Q-tards. It's like I don't care about QAnon.
So what happened to him, Phil?
Well, I imagine it looks like he went someplace sunny because I've seen photos of recent photos of JFK
I don't know why
Jr.
we always have to say sunny, because what are you going to do on a beach for the rest of your life? There's just sand and Mai Tais. That's not a life.
Okay,
well,
so
like he's got a good tan.
I think they just stay within wherever they live. They just put on a mustache or a hat and that's it.
Okay, so here's my point. Okay, look, if you're going to say people, you know, they faked their deaths, then you're going to have to prove to me where they ended up. I mean, I look at. There's definitely a lot of weird things that happen with that plane in the ocean, and you know, I kind of got into all that. I read some stuff. What's that?
You did?
I mean, I got into all that, but the point is, if that means he wasn't on the plane.
Yes.
Okay, or the plane was just put there. Yeah.
Exactly. Or there was no plane at all. Yeah.
Or there was no plane at all.
Okay, that doesn't matter to me. The point is, where did he end up? Okay, that's what. If you could prove to me that you saw him someplace or you know exactly what happened to him, then you're just saying stuff that just as crazy as everybody else.
Well, I know the JFK Jr. thing is not so slam dunk as others. For instance, I can say that Charlie Kirk faked his death. I mean, that whole shooting was fake, and I can say that Ann Hetchy.
And by the way, everyone is saying now that's coming out that Charlie Kirk faked his death.
Yeah.
Now they're
and remember Ann Hetchy, how she burst out of her body bag, you know, as they were loading her into the ambulance, and that was just so scripted. And then later told us that she died at the hospital. It's like, wait a minute, we all saw her burst out of her body bag, and now you're telling us that she later died at the hospital. It's like it was so scripted, and so there are some death fakers that make it so obvious, and but yet the JFKs are a little bit more complicated. They don't make it so obvious, but we can conclude from the majority of the evidence that they are falling into the same category. Basically, is
Bill,
where
you sound like a nut when you say that.
By the way, we talked a bit about this almost 2 years ago. Look, I just looked it up.
Okay.
We talked about this almost 2 years ago. Oh, we've been going a long time. Let me just show you real quick.
Yeah.
I guess we've been saying the same thing over and over again. Let me just show you real quick here.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Brave Browser. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Phil's no nut though. But
well, no, I'm not saying he's nuts. I'm just saying he appears like he's nuts because he can't prove anything he says.
Well, I know I can't prove that Charlie Kirk faked his death either. I can't prove that Ann Hetchy faked her death.
We don't have to prove it. They have to prove they're alive.
Well,
yeah.
We can show. We could. There's the show. April 19th, 2024. We've been doing this show this long. Wow, it's amazing.
What was the year?
2024. Almost 2 years to the day.
Okay.
We've been talking about the same topic.
Yeah, and so there. So we have to. Oh, here's what I can say. They cannot prove that he's dead. You see, what I do is I point out
Yes, I
weaknesses
agree with
in
that.
I point out weaknesses in their case. That's what I do.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
And
well, I have no problem. I have no problem with you doing that, Phil. But again, you gotta play the whole thing through. You know, you could say this about everybody in life that dies, that they all fake their deaths.
Anyone famous.
Well, whatever.
People who are really old, you know, I don't really expect them to fake their death because they're really old anyway. Oh, what's her face? Betty White was an interesting case.
Yeah.
Like as soon as she turned 100 years old, she died, and she predicted that she wouldn't make it to 100, and then sure enough, she died like right before her 100th birthday or something. There's something weird about Betty White's death and how she predicted it. And anyway, I can't say anything conclusive about that. But again, there's all kinds of
not all who wander are lost says it's a theory, Jimbo. No one has to prove shit.
Well, then that's all you're doing is just saying shit.
Well, we're casting doubt.
Well, these presidential assassinations are very revealing as to how how our overlords are brainwashing us. And so that's what makes them important. Not that I really care if they fake their death, but it reveals the method and the mindset of, I don't know who rules over us. I personally think it's the Jewish bankers that rule over us, but other people think it's the Jesuits. Jesuits, I believe, work for the Jews. And so I'm sure the Jesuits have a hand in it, but I believe they are employees of the Jews.
Yeah,
and the Catholics, I believe, are employees of the Jews. And, you know, but anyway, they all have their hand in it.
Don't forget, a couple hundred years ago, the Jews, like the Catholics, they couldn't own anything, so they were the managers. So I just want to know what year they went from managers to owners. And I guess over time, if your owner dies, you can just take over. But they were the managers because they couldn't own property. They couldn't own anything.
Yeah, and now they own all the property.
Jews
you see, and that's how we know, is because all the landlords in my area, I mean, they're all Jewish. I mean,
I guess if they were managing for the lords and the nobility, and they just died off.
And now the Jews get to decide who gets to have a house and who doesn't. And you see, this is because the Jews have been wanderers for all these centuries. They've been getting kicked out of 109 countries. And so now the Jews own everything. And they say, you ain't going to kick us out ever again because we own all the real estate. You'll never kick us out again. And so that's kind of like how we know
that's what I would do if I was kept out just like anyone else. I would do whatever it took to stay in. So
yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, maybe so there's nothing we again, I'm trying to figure out what exactly we can accuse these Jews of doing, because some people say they killed a whole bunch of people on 9/11, you know, but as you research it, we realize that we can't really prove that anyone died on 9/11. And then people say they killed.
They can't prove anyone died.
Yeah,
we don't have to prove they didn't. They can't prove they did.
Yeah, and then
the evidence they give us is no good, and it's full of holes. Swiss cheese.
Yeah, and so, you know, so it looks like they're guilty of racketeering, of grand larceny, of money laundering. These are all, you know, gangster type crimes, and they're serious. I mean, you know, people do serious time for these types of crimes, but as to whether or not they deserve a hanging, you know, I don't think we've ever hung anyone over grand larceny. I don't think we've ever hung anyone over.
We don't hang anyone for anything anymore. So I think, I think you're way off there. Okay, here, by the way, is JFK TV. It's a really good book. If you want to read how they did it, this is the best theory I've ever read. It's called JFK TV. JFK, his daddy founded Hollywood. Yeah. Joseph P. Kennedy started
Wait
RKO?
a minute, you're wrong about that. That's
I am?
Yes, yes. Can I explain this? Can
Go
you give
for it.
me some time? Thank you.
Hold on, let me turn the clock on. Go ahead.
Okay. No. Let's just understand this because there's so much misinformation. Who invented the movie camera?
Who?
Edison.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, in the United States.
Is he a
Okay.
Jew?
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right. I'm not going to argue with that.
Okay. Edison invented the movie camera.
Is he a Jew?
No, he's not. Okay. So here's the thing. He invents the movie camera, and he's in the East. He's in, where we live, okay, in the East. So what happens was, the first thing that happened was the Jews stole the camera from him. See, they were supposed to pay him royalties for the camera. So what they did is they went out to California and they started with his movie camera, the movie business. And guess what? The first things they produced, it was pornography. Okay, that's what they did. Okay, that's how the Jews do things. Okay,
I'm gonna fact check you on the movie camera thing.
Well, okay, okay, but you got to understand that Kennedy got in.
All right, I believe that's what they would do with the cameras. They would.
Well, okay, but Kennedy, let's get back to Kennedy. Okay, Kennedy got back to it later because being the Catholic, he probably saw all this bullshit that the Jews are doing, and he wants to get good stuff being done with the movie camera, and so he tries to bring some good stuff in with that. You know what I mean? Movies, good movies.
Is the hero in your movie?
What's that?
So the Catholic is the hero in your movie?
I have no movie. I'm just telling you what happened here. Okay. So basically,
yeah.
So basically, the movies, again, I never got into it, the movies that he did and all that, whatever. But you can see he had an issue with the Jews. Okay. And he was trying to do, kind of good stuff with the movie camera. Okay. So that's where we stand with the movie camera in Hollywood. Again, yeah, Kennedy was involved in it in the beginning, sure. But that's the reason why he got involved in it. And it was most of the Jews were in Hollywood, okay, doing the movies. All right. Kennedy was very rare that he's a Catholic guy there making movies. There probably was 5 or 6 other guys that have
he was paying for it.
Yeah, whatever. But the other, the Warner Brothers, and I don't know all the names of all the guys.
Second. So Joseph P. Kennedy, was he a Jew?
No.
Okay. It says here, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr.'s main role in Hollywood was a hard-driving financier, money, and studio boss who reshaped the business side of the movie industry in the late 1920s.
That's right.
So that sounds like he was the money behind it.
That's interesting.
So he's not Jewish,
though. I believe he's probably a crypto Jew.
No, Phil, please. He's not. You look. I lived in Massachusetts. Where do the Kennedys live? They lived in Massachusetts. They lived down the Cape. Okay. Exactly. Everybody that got married in their family had big marriages in the church down in Hyannisport. That's where they have their mansion. Mm-hmm. Okay. He had nothing to do with Judaism. His mother, or JFK's mother, or John.
Well, he wouldn't have been allowed so much power in Hollywood if he didn't have anything to do with Judaism.
No, Phil.
I mean, because it sounds like he was given a lot of power in Hollywood.
Listen, just be quiet for a minute, okay? He had a lot of money, okay? So he was able to compete with the Jews, okay? So they wouldn't.
Well, that's again. How could he have had so much money if he wasn't working with?
Or he financed them.
Well, I don't know what happened on that end. I'm just saying he was there independently, and I believe he wasn't tied into any Jews, okay? Because he was Catholic, they were Jewish, and he probably was bucking heads with them, all right? Now, eventually, he got out of the business. I don't know all the details here. I'm just telling you the beginning of it. So I don't know why he left. But
Jim, don't you think they work together at the top? Do you really think they're fighting at the top? Do you really think the Catholics hate the Jews, etc.? Even today?
Look, they're together today, but at that time, you got to understand what was going on. So Kennedy is a super duper Catholic,
right?
Okay, so he's trying to do things super duper Catholic wise, and he didn't like the Jews. You know, he didn't like the movies, so he was trying to do what was right there. I would like to just find out why he got out of the business, because I haven't researched it. I don't know what happened, why he pulled out.
I always go back to the Rosemary Kennedy story. I mean, and that one's a slam dunk that these Kennedys are a bunch of frauds, because the story goes that the famous doctor had opened her skull up and was cutting parts of her brain, and as he was doing it, she was singing the Star Spangled Banner and counting the alphabet backwards. And when she began to slow down, they knew that they had cut out enough brain, and they knew the procedure was over. I mean, just think about that. That's ridiculous. There's no way you could. They called it a live lobotomy, an awake.
Okay,
lobotomy.
so Phil, what?
And
okay,
there's no way you can do
Phil,
an awake lobotomy.
Phil, time out. So you have a problem with the Kennedys?
Yes.
Okay, and I know you. I've talked to you about it before, but the frauds. Okay, what are they? Fake? Yeah. They all fake. They didn't exist. They weren't Catholic. They didn't go to church on Sunday. What's the story here?
Yeah, they were well. I don't. Just because they're Catholic doesn't absolve them from being frauds. I mean, I think we can all.
Phil, I'm not saying they're not frauds. I'm saying that you just have a bone to pick with the Kennedys, just like you have a bone to pick with everybody else you complain about. Okay.
Well, I don't believe it's possible to do an awake lobotomy. I think it's absolutely possible.
If that's what happened. Okay, Phil, you're telling us that's what happened. Is that exactly what happened?
That's what yes.
Okay, where did you get your information, Phil?
From Wikipedia. If you Google
okay, great. Phil, Phil gets his information from Wikipedia. Okay, great. Thank you.
But that's the mainstream narrative.
Phil, who's in charge of Wikipedia?
Well, yeah, and the same
Jews.
people who
so who's going to feed you bullshit?
Hold on
the Jews.
How can you prove that Jews control Wikipedia? So where does it say that?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. I
know, but Jim, there's a Jew under every rock with you. Like the Jews,
okay. Hold on here.
Control Wikipedia.
That's all I know is anything that comes against the Jews, they don't want you to put in there. They always get rid of it. Holocaust stuff, all that stuff. So who would do that? The Catholics?
Well, if they're controlling the Jews, yeah, because they're their managers.
So, Tim, are you going along with this bullshit that the Jesuits are in control of everything?
I don't think he just said Jesuits. And I don't want to.
Yeah, he went into the Knights Templars. He went into
It's the Knights of Malta. It's
the Knights of Malta.
It's the nobility of Europe. These are the guys that have all the money. The Jews probably are.
John Ross calls
the Jews have been cut in, I would say, over time, but no, they don't own everything, because that would imply that they took all the ownership from the nobility and the merchant families. They're all the merchant families.
Okay, so the Rothschilds, they're not a big deal. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the Rothschilds, when they got started in the 1800s,
they were the bankers for the nobility.
Okay, but he didn't go off on his own. He didn't send his 5 kids to 5 cities in Europe.
No, that's the story we're given. That's fine. But whose money were they managing?
As far as I know, he made his own money.
No, he was the manager for the nobility.
How do you do you understand?
How do you prove it was their money, Jim?
Hold on. Time out. Can I talk? Because you guys never let me talk.
We always let you talk. You've had most of the airtime tonight.
Oh, yeah, I know, because you guys are saying stupid stuff.
Don't say we're not letting you talk.
Okay, can I talk about the Rothschilds, please? Do you know how he started out, Mayor Rothschild, what he did?
He had a shop in Germany somewhere, and he had a red star.
But did you know what?
No, it was a red shield. A red shield on his.
That's not what he did. Okay, what he did way in the beginning was he dealt with coins. He was a coin guy, And so he would get collectible coins. I mean, and he would deal with nobility, the kings and, all those people there that wanted these very expensive, old coins and all that. So he was a numismatic guy, I guess.
Okay, hold on a sec, Jim. So whose money did he manage?
Hold on. Can I finish my story, please?
I want you to make sure you put that in the story.
Well, no. But he got started with coins that he dealt himself with. He collected them and he saved them, and then they were worth money. He sold them to the nobility. They paid really a lot of money for the coins and all that stuff. And then eventually he got, obviously into, when he got a lot of money, with all this, because the kings now were trusting him. They trusted him because he dealt with them with the coins. So they trusted him with their money.
Yes,
so they invested with him. Okay. And then he, that's how he developed. Yes.
Well, it's true that these bankers might be working for, maybe the bankers are distributing the money.
Who are the wealthy nobles, the merchants? They're right here. Wilhelm the Ninth.
And that might be the case. In any event, what we got to do is we got to analyze their propaganda and to get a psychological breakdown on these people that rule over us. And that's the only way we can actually get to the bottom of who's at the top. And it is to break down their psychological breakdown. And, from what I see, they do a lot of trauma-based mind control. And they always lie to us about people that are dead. On the nightly news, every single night, they tell us about 168 children that were killed in a school in Iran. They can't prove any of it. They show us a building that's been blown up, but they don't show us any injuries or any dead bodies. They're always pulling numbers out of thin air and telling us that all these people died.
I just want to make sure my mic was working because I've screwed with my sound. I'm coming through, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
I
good.
hear you.
Sorry. Okay, I agree. Phil, let's go over some of your videos because we're at the halfway point. I want to go through your videos.
Here's a controlled demolition that happened today.
That's why we're here. This is the Fake Nukes Phil show first. I just want to make that clear. I wanted to make
this happened in Beirut.
Is there a lag
today? Attack.
I think Phil, your connection.
Go to the and as you can see. Oh, yeah, I am getting a white screen every now and then. Can you hear me now?
That's why I thought you were just ignoring me, which is fine, but I just wanted to make sure if I had to talk over you. Okay, here we go here. Oh, that's a beauty.
Yeah, that looks like Building 7. And
so this is part of the Greater Israel Project. They're basically using this excuse, this ongoing war. They are going to blow up or get rid of all the buildings they want to rebuild for the next 20 years.
Okay, Phil, let me ask you a question, Phil. So let's just get out of Gaza, get out of whatever this one is. What's happening are the Jews getting bombed? Are they getting bombed?
No.
Are you talking about the Israelis, Jim? Because there's Jews everywhere.
Yeah, the Israelis. Are the Israelis getting bombed in Israel?
No, and neither is Lebanon. And
so you haven't seen any of the people doing news reports from those areas that show all the buildings bombed out.
He does. He's analyzed. This is one right here, Jim. Can you see this? Look at that one.
I see it, but I'm not talking about that video. I'm talking about other videos. See, Phil only puts up what he wants you to see, but he doesn't want you to see like when someone's doing a newscast in front of a whole neighborhood that's all completely destroyed.
Phil, do you got any newscasts? Because Jim,
he never shows that stuff there after what's going on, and so Phil doesn't believe anything. Well, look at. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong.
CNN.
Whatever. I'm just saying that Phil, he shows you things, but then you're going to tell me that Israel. I mean, they're telling us Israel is getting bombed. So is it true or not true?
Phil, is anything getting bombed?
No.
In Israel.
In Israel. He said no. Phil says no. Hold on. We got a caller in her. Caller in her. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Brian Washington.
Brian Washington? Okay.
Brian in Washington.
Brian in Washington. Oh, your last name's not Washington. Okay, got it. You got anything for Fake News Phil and Jim Rizoli?
Of course I do.
Okay, good.
So earlier in the broadcast, it said, "Holy crap, fellas, 2 years now we've been going on about this."
Yes, we have.
And then it was last time we talked on Thursday with Len. You said, "Hey, Brian, if you can line up some people that want to come on and talk about some important stuff," which, you know, that's the gist of the whole chat room, is can we drop kick this never ending and talk about some current. So I have a gentleman for you, Professor Rakoff Rabkin.
Okay.
He's in Montreal. That's Quebec, Canada.
Yeah, I'm in the same country. Yeah.
Professor Emeritus. He's probably a rabbi. He's pointing out to people all over YouTube that, you know, it was the Protestant Christians in Britain mostly responsible for Zionism.
Of course.
The Jewish people are not on board with this. They are resisting it. They're supposed to wait for the Messiah to come, and then they will be gathered in a place together. Till then, they want nothing to do with this. And of course, Jenna's last name is Shaputis, so that's Lithuanian. And the Poles, Ukrainians, Lithuanians, that's the Pale of Settlements from Russia. So a huge influx of Jewish people, which were denied travel in the Pale of Settlements,
all right,
ended up in Israel. And these people love them some nationalism.
Yeah.
To the point where killing people, they'll do 3 or 4 before breakfast without batting an eye. This is our land, and we are going to colonize it.
Yeah.
Well, then we would have some photos of some.
You got any proof that they're killing everybody in sight? Yeah. That's a pretty lofty goal or a lofty claim.
Well, I'll leave that up to.
I know, but that's pretty inflammatory.
And I've been uploading so many videos of the. Okay, so we get the.
He's talking about the Israeli settlers.
We get these Israeli soldiers that are beating up on Palestinians, and they're all fake. I mean, they're doing WWE wrestling. They're pretending to punch the guy, but you can tell they're not real punches. And so it's like you can tell that both sides are in on it.
Apparently, there's a donkey head in this picture.
It's and so if again, people accuse me of defending the Jews. It's like, but I'm not. I'm exposing the fakery in what they're showing us. I mean, it's not convincing. If an Israeli soldier hits a Palestinian with the butt of his rifle, you're going to see a lot of blood spurting out because it's going to crack the skull, and you're going to instantly see blood spurting out. But we never see that. All these rifle butts to the head are all fake, and the Palestinians is acting.
Someone's saying you, because you are always calling out the Jew, but now you're accused of the opposite of
well, I am accusing them of faking the whole thing. Yeah. And so they're making money off this. I mean, this thing has been going on for 80 years, at more than 80 years, this whole Middle East conflict. I mean, think about that. That does not make sense at all. If this was a real conflict, they would have settled it 79 years ago. But the reason why it's been going on for 80 years is because they want it to go on. And both sides want it to go on because obviously both sides are making money off this. And here's the benefit I believe the Muslims are getting. The Muslims are getting their grand agenda because they've always wanted to conquer Europe. And behold, that's exactly
they
what's
already
happening.
did. You mean they want to do it again?
This is the last crusade, and this crusade has been more successful than all previous crusades put together, and they're doing it not with rifles, not with swords. They're doing it with rubber babies. They're pretending to be victims.
Let's let Brian get another question, and we've got it. Brian, you got another question, or is that?
Of course, statement. Of course, I have lots of worries. I have to know my reputation in the chat room of always bringing compelling and intriguing fun.
Oh yeah, you're good. We like you.
And don't you think I should crowbar some communitarian, because this rabbi quite compelled on the phone this morning when I said, so this word community, we don't use it, and that's because I don't want to be part of a community. We use the term some people that live on my road, not all of them. So this Jewish guy who's saying, I am not a Zionist, although I am a Jew, what do you feel about getting roped into a big Jewish community mindset of groupthink? So he's compelled to discuss this, enter the Fakeology show, and we could get away from, whether you guys are the paid agent.
I'm not a paid agent.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
only paid. I'm only paid by my donors, which
I need a raise
$1 here and $1 there. By the way,
is Jim still with us?
Yes, Jim,
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
here.
still with us? Are you a paid agent, Jim?
No, I got accused of that on BitChute. Someone said that I'm making money on my videos, because I have so many up there now in so many views. I don't get paid a cent on BitChute.
Does BitChute monetize channels like YouTube?
You can monetize it so you make money on the videos. Yes.
Even if they're not your videos, if they're re-uploads.
Well, I don't know how it all works.
Because a re-upload, I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know, but I don't. They asked me to monetize my site. I say no. Okay. So for all you assholes out there that are accusing me of doing this, well, you're an asshole if you're accusing me of doing something that I would never think of doing.
Okay, Jim's doing it for the common good.
People that have studied history know that there always will be those that are in the situation to mislead.
Yeah, it's called controlled opposition. We know that.
It's got a multitude.
We know
of
that,
names.
Brian. We know it. Controlled opposition.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a whole bunch of controlled opposition. The controlled opposition are the ones who make all the money. Okay, they're the ones who monetize on their channel. They sell T-shirts. They sell PP pills. They sell sleep helpers. Just the vitamins.
Forget about the value of blackmail. If they got the dirt on somebody, that person is now their slave till their death, unless their grandkids want to know about the videos that exist. This doesn't necessarily mean monetization. There's a variety of ways that these things are pulled off, and people that know history know that there are people in this position to mislead people. That's what I'm trying to say. What I asked about Jim was, what's your feeling on the Christians involved in this Zionism push? Because Jenna Jenna is from Lithuania, where the northern crusades of Christians came to rape and pillage. It was awful damn wet there, so they had a big problem, and at a certain point, they said, well, let's go somewhere else and rape and pillage for Jesus.
So you're saying the Christians did this?
I'm saying Christian Protestants. I'm Irish.
Okay, so they're not Christian, right? They're not Christian.
Protestants are
they're not Christian. People that go out, rape, kill, and hurt people are not Christians. So what are you talking about?
The Crusaders from Germany were Christians.
People that go out, I just explained to you. Listen to me. People that go out and kill and hurt people are not Christian. Okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah,
you could say the same about Muslims and Jews.
Whoever does it. Christians don't kill people.
Neither do Muslims or Jews. Can you get that?
Whatever. You don't kill people, all right? That's what you don't do.
Okay, good. Makes sense to me. So you're saying someone is pretending to be a Christian that was
Well,
doing.
they're saying look at everybody, the Crusades, all that stuff. However, what side you want to take on it. I mean, Christians. That's why they were persecuted in the beginning. I'm talking about right after when Jesus got Christianity going. They were persecuted because they were so different from the world. They didn't get involved with all that worldly crap. And today, Christians, if you're a real Christian, you don't get involved in war. You don't kill people.
All right. So Christians do not kill.
If JFK was mentioned as being Catholic, let's talk about Irish history. The Scots in northern Britain were being a pain in the ass to the Englanders, so they sent them to Northern Ireland. And why don't you Protestants and Catholics fight it out, because we're tired of you. But it was the Northern Irish Scots that went to the United States. And yeah, the people here didn't want them. They were way too wild, drinking whiskey and fighting and shooting. So out west they went. That is the Scotch history.
Right.
So yeah, these
because
people,
the Puritans that were already in the Northeast didn't want them. I agree.
Yeah, they like going to church, and that doesn't go with the
the Puritans and the Quakers. Yeah, makes sense.
So anyway,
where did they end up? In the Pacific Northwest, where you are?
To some degree, but that was 50, 100 years later. I'd still recommend the Ken Kesey MK Ultra victim movie, Sometimes a Great Notion, if you want to know what it's like in the West Coast of the United States. He can tell you, because that was Ken Kesey's task.
I know you like Ken Kesey.
Coast, let the people of the West Coast know what communitarianism is.
Oh, you got it in there. You got it in.
That movie was created for that purpose. But first, you have to know what this C word is, and then watch the movie, and preferably read the book, and you could read all about these statements like we're all in it together, no man is an island. All of that's in the book.
Okay. What's the name of the book before we let you go?
Sometimes a Great Notion.
Sometimes a Great Notion. We'll look it up. Put a link to it in the chat. Okay, Brian. Yeah, you said your piece. I appreciate it. And give me the name of that guy, and maybe we'll have him on from Montreal.
Yep, we'll get it in the chat room and send it to your email. And
do you think he'd come on the show?
Here, Canadian, and not spitting distance from him. So, he's not too picky. And he's certainly
He'll go on any show, including mine. I get you. So I have
got a set of brass ones between his legs. He's not going to be intimidated by anything you have to say. He can defend himself.
All right.
He has an alternative viewpoint of history. That's what your show is supposed to be. And I'm encouraging.
All right. Yeah. I'll look him up. Thank you, Brian. You always got some good ideas. Yeah.
And Simon Dixon awaits your WhatsApp communication because of his interest in finance.
I am listening to Simon right now. I just on my walk before I got in here, I was listening to Simon. I'm just trying to get up to speed on his point of view, and I will have him on for sure.
You are very graciously allowing me this time. Thank you so much, Tim.
No problem, Brian. I think we need the Brian show one day.
That's great. Yeah. Again,
all right. Thank you, Brian. You're a good man.
I focus on what the media is showing us, and I focus on on how it's not proving anything. So
yeah, that's good. That's why you're here, because I like media fakery, and that's what you do.
So basically, they're telling us about this Iran war, and I have yet to see an injured person. I have yet to see a dead person. They've shown
Phil,
us some.
You're not going to see. Look at Phil. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're not going to see that because it's being presented to you.
And if I'm not, well, then it's
Phil,
not a real
Phil,
war.
hold on here. You're not going to see it. They're not going to present that information for people to see.
Well, they do.
That's
from
why.
Gaza.
That's why you don't see it. Okay,
And
you don't see
Gaza,
it because
from Gaza they show us dead babies.
They don't want you to see it, Phil.
From Iran.
Okay, we get it. The dead babies. They don't want you to see it.
That's the weakness.
The dead babies have slowed down lately.
When we look at the dead babies from Gaza, when we slow down the video and we look at it, we can tell that A, it's either a live baby with fake blood on it, or B, it's a rubber baby. And so that's why they need to show me. And so they do it in Gaza, but they don't do it in Iran. Now, why is that?
Well,
And
that's
so,
the question. Why do you think it is?
Well, because Gaza has a different production crew.
Okay,
Gaza has a production crew called Pallywood. It's a whole industry, and they have all this fake blood and all this gore makeup. Whereas
so Iran doesn't have a production crew.
No, I can't see it.
I'm still waiting for the shots from the Straits of Hormuz where they're blocking all the oil coming out.
Right? We don't see what. Yeah, we don't see what's going on there.
So Iran just simply doesn't show us anything. They tell us all these thousands of people have been killed.
Phil, I don't think it's Iran. It's not Iran. It's our government here is probably not allowing it to happen.
Well, then why do they allow it in Gaza? Why do they allow the videos from Gaza to get
happening? Maybe Iran isn't putting up any fight. How about that?
I don't know what's going on. Okay,
exactly.
I don't know what's going on.
I
don't know who to believe. I mean, you hear Trump saying stuff, his people saying stuff, and I don't know who to believe.
Well, let's watch this one here, Phil. What do we got here?
Well, here
of the white Jesus.
This was built. Yeah, this was built in Lebanon, but as you can see, that Jesus has very European features, and so I'm telling you, these Lebanese people do not believe in a Viking Jesus. Okay. They do not consider the Vikings to be their Lord and Savior. So they're doing this statue of Jesus for one reason only, and that is to show the Europeans that we're just like you. See, we worship the same Nordic Jesus that you worship, and so let us come to your country. And that's basically what that is.
Hold on, we got another caller in her, but I got to fix the audio. There's something wrong with the audio on this. So caller, if you can hear me, just hold on. I'm going to try and fix the audio and see what the hey-ho is going on. So let me switch it to sample. Can you hear me, caller? 2212. Oh, wait, lost the caller. I was trying to fix it here. Okay.
Hold time 55 seconds.
Caller, where are you calling from? What's your name?
This is John the Beggar calling from the South Shore of the St. Lawrence Seaway.
Hi, John. Yeah, our other line that's not working. So whoever called, I'm sorry I missed your call. There's something wrong with that other line. I don't know what it is, but go ahead.
Okay, I want to state I came here late tonight. I was rather busy, didn't get to a show.
Hold
and
time.
I apologize for not getting.
Oh, hold on, John. Hold on one sec. You can't hear this.
Hello.
Okay, here's another. Yeah, caller in, or where are you calling from?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. How's it? Is this our Rhode Island?
Derek.
Derek, can you hold on a sec? Because I'm trying to get through to John the Beggar, because you guys are on the same line, but you can't hear each other.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, John the Beggar, because Rhode Island's on the other line.
Okay, I just want to say I couldn't agree with Phil Moore.
Okay, Phil Moore.
He's spot on. Nothing is going on over there. If anything gets blown up, they're moving everything out and then coming in and blowing it up. There's an agreement. It's nothing but a staged war to drive the price of oil up. And Phil, you are spot on.
All right, Phil, you got a fan and John the Beggar.
Yeah, thank you, John. And we'll try to spread the word and try to nip this World War III in the bud. And this is the long-awaited war of Iran. They've been talking about this for 40 years. I've been hearing Michael Collins Piper talk about this. I've been hearing William Luther Pierce talk about this. I've been hearing David Duke talk about this. People have been talking about this long-awaited war with Iran for 40 years. And here we are right in the thick of it. And we're on the front lines showing that it's fake. I'm showing that the videos do not prove that it's real. And so here we are.
I was talking to some young relatives earlier, and they think it's all phony too.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
There's young people, and there's even some people that aren't true fakeologists, and I know they took the vaccine. The lack of real good, credible photos makes them shudder as to what the hell's really going on.
Well, but yeah, yes. but think about this. Phil doesn't think anybody's dying from the vax.
Well, Phil and I have a disagreement on that one, and as a free man in a free country, he has a right to disagree with me.
Let's not pick too much on Phil, Jim. Come on, he's your little.
No, but I'm just saying. Okay,
I haven't seen anybody in my neighborhood die from the vaccine.
You're probably not going to.
Be wrong. People have a right to be wrong, and I think Phil probably feels
especially Phil.
The problem is nobody can prove or not prove. It's like CO2. It's like viruses. It's like all the other invisible things in our lives.
Time 40.
You can't prove it. Okay, John, I got to go because here's Derek.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good
John.
night, guys.
Thank you. Okay, Derek, go ahead. I fixed the phone line. I had the mute button pressed. I got too many buttons.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No problem. The thing I've been noticing lately was, or thinking about was, there was no problem taking over Venezuela. We had all this super technology and this weapon called the discombobulator and all that nonsense. But now all of a sudden there's a big problem and we're running out of missiles and we can't win it. And,
can you guys hear him, by the way?
Well, he's kind of muffled.
Well, no, he's muffled, but he is coming through. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, he is muffled. Okay. I just want to make sure the audience could hear because someone's saying no audio. Okay.
All right. You hear me better?
Not really, but go ahead. We can hear you. I was just worried about the audience is saying they couldn't hear. Skyfish says no audio, but go for it.
That was kind of really it. How did we have no issue over in Venezuela? He went in, kidnapped the president. Now we're playing baseball games with Venezuela and every other thing. Everything's good.
Yeah.
But there's a big issue going over here and trying to pull this off. It just gives it away. There's no consistency.
From what I could see, Venezuela was in on that. I think Maduro is an actor, and the military down there in Venezuela was helping us fake those fake missiles going into the harbor. And it was a cooperative fake effort on both the United States and Venezuela to fake that whole entire attack. And Maduro is not being held Maduro is not in prison right now.
Where is he? Jim wants you to prove where he is. Where is he?
Okay.
No, I don't care where he is. Phil, are they taking the oil out of Venezuela?
Yes, they're probably taking the oil. Yeah, but that.
Whoa, that's amazing. You admitted that. Wow. I'm surprised you admitted that.
But that's
all
Congress,
the countries
Jim.
are already owned anyway.
That's business.
The New World Order has already been in effect for 80 years.
The New World Order is the old World Order. Exactly. It's the old world order. It's the same old. How about it's the same old order?
And so when we're not dealing with independent countries anymore. We haven't been dealing with independent countries for a very long time.
Since the British Empire.
Absolutely not.
The British Empire. The sun never sets on the British Empire. Same old, same old.
Yeah, so so what we saw in Venezuela was another show, and what we're seeing in Iran is another.
Does that prove that this Iran deal is real or fake, though? What does that prove? That they were faking it together there, and now this one is real, or
in my personal opinion, it proves that Adolf Hitler was right, because Adolf Hitler spoke a very famous speech called "The War Profiteers," where he describes the Allied powers as people who profit off war, and the war will be continuous. And so after 1945, the war has been continuous because there's been a conflict somewhere in the world nonstop ever since 1945. Now, many of these conflicts have been fake, but they make just as much money off fake conflicts as they do real conflicts. Yeah. And so but since 1945, it's been a constant state of conflict. And that's because the war profiteers are churning up profits off these fake wars. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have countries selling other countries in war, missiles and whatever. I mean, it's just war is money.
But, Smedley Butler said war is a racket. Did you ever read that one?
Yeah, and war is a racket. Yeah, and most of these military contracts get laundered and they just cash into somebody's pocket because there is no Iron Dome. I mean, all that money just goes into somebody's pocket.
All right, Derek, we got to let you go, but thanks for calling. Thanks for helping me fix the phone line. Thank you, Derek. Derek's on the Discord every weekend. Good guy. I don't know why he called in on the phone line because his line was very, very hard to hear. Okay, Phil, let's wrap it up. Here is a tower in somewhere. Dubai?
Yeah, I think this is Dubai, and so this makes no military sense at all. What they do is they destroy a facade of it looks like the 80th floor of a hotel, and it doesn't do any damage. I mean, all it does is it looks good for the now. It could be AI, and but still, whether it's AI or whether it's just a pyrotechnic. Either way, it makes no sense. It makes no military sense. No. And it's I mean, we're in the year 2026.
There's paper flying down. That was
because that reminded me of 9/11. Remember on 9/11? So this reminded me, and so that's why I titled this video 9/11 flashback built, but the building does not collapse. And so how come this building didn't collapse, whereas both of them did on 9/11, and so so basically these drones are basically model airplanes that are carrying a small amount of explosive that does not achieve any military goal at all. This is just something for the cameras. That's all this is, and no military general would even use this, because all you're going to do is this gives the enemy propaganda. And so you wouldn't use a weapon that is beneficial to the enemy's propaganda. And so this makes no military sense at all. And because it's a fake war.
All right. And Jim, let's give you the last word, because you've been a little quiet lately. Because we got to wrap her up.
Well, I'm quiet because no one wants to listen to me,
I listen.
Here's the thing, okay? Phil, there's a lot of stuff he says I agree with.
Yeah.
Okay. But he just doesn't come through with proof of anything. So whatever he says, it's very interesting and it's good to research and whatever. But the end result is, if you think someone didn't die or they faked their death or whatever, I mean, you could say that about everybody in life, right? Everybody faked their deaths. Okay. Now your buildings, when you're talking about these buildings, a lot of that building stuff, well, I think a lot of it's AI now. All right. So I don't disagree with you. All right. So
Phil has helped you over the last couple of years since you've been coming on this show. I think Phil has really helped you.
Phil has turned against me, and that's what I don't like about
Phil. Wait, are you against Jim?
No. Some of my commenters are giving Jim a hard time, and but I let Jim defend himself. He's a grown man. He can he's a big boy. He can defend himself.
It's hard to defend myself on a channel that your people just lie.
And I've been letting Esther just post on my channel, and I don't even. Well, that really
Esther, you created Esther, not me.
Who's
you
Esther?
Said I did.
Oh,
you said you said I created Esther. You're the one that created Esther. You started calling this guy Esther. I didn't do that. You did.
How can you prove that? How can you prove that she's a guy? You can't.
Because he emailed me personally. He was
a woman couldn't do that.
I was like, look, I get it. He could be a woman. You're right. He could be a woman. I don't give a shit what he is. Don't accuse me of doing something that you did. And that's what you did.
Does Esther have a sister named Polly?
No, I think she has a sister named Shlomo.
You're not doing it.
I digress.
Polly Esther, get it?
Okay. I get it.
Okay, come on.
Okay.
You guys, I thought you were sharper than that. I'm trying to tell jokes here.
Tim, I got the joke. Believe me, I got it. I got it the first time you. I got it the first time you said it.
Okay, Phil, I didn't think got it. Okay.
I didn't. I'm a little slow.
You're a little slow. I knew Phil was a little slow. Okay. All right, slow Phil. That's okay, Phil. We forgive you on that, but that's good.
Yeah,
Let me play
our slow moments.
All right. Well, guys, good show tonight. I appreciate you guys coming out. And why isn't this playing? Oh, it is playing. All right.
All right, very good.
I hope we got our licks in. Jim, you had a couple good uppercuts there to Phil. Phil, you did pretty good tonight.
Uppercuts.
We
couple uppercuts, and Phil got a couple body blows in. I think it was a good show. Drake wants to come on with Lynn tomorrow. I don't know if he's going to come on because he hasn't emailed me. But
what does Lynn have a problem with him?
No. Drake wanted to speak to Lynn directly, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think Lynn has a problem with anybody.
Okay.
Lynn likes you too, I think, Jim.
Well, no, she accused me of lying about the Brazilians, taking over the time.
I think she was just having fun with you.
Well, that's you don't do that. Okay,
No,
you don't do that to people and have fun with them and accuse them of being a liar. Okay, that's what you don't do.
What about Cloverfield? He's got a lot of videos of you.
Cloverfield is a nut. Okay, and he comes after me. I mean, think about it. There's people on BitChute. Their whole BitChute channel is to come after me. And what am I doing wrong? Am I saying something wrong? Am I lying about somebody?
I think you're just popular, Jim. I can't even get anyone to mention my channel, but you've got guys all over the place. I think you're doing good. If you've got that many followers on the other side, you're doing well. Don't you think, Phil?
Yeah.
I think Jim is out of the basement. You're still in the basement, right, Phil?
Yeah, I'm in the basement, but you know what? That's I guess where I'll always stay. But
you got
in the meantime, I'll just call it the way I see it. You got 2,500 subscribers, so that's pretty good. And Jim has about 10 million, right? What do you got, Jim?
It's coming up to 8 million. Probably this week. I'll hit 8 million.
Jim has 9,809. You're coming up to 10,000. That's pretty good.
Well, 8 million views on my video.
8 million views and 10,000 subscribers. That's a lot.
Well, getting there.
All right, so you're getting there. So you keep plugging away. Jim does a show every single day. Doesn't take a day off. He's the epitome of workaholic.
I guess.
Same thing every single day. He does a show. I can barely do 5 shows a week, but Jim does about 10 shows a week. His own show, other people's shows, and he never switches topics, which makes Jim a bit of an anomaly, I would say.
I guess.
And Fake Nukes Phil, of course, keeps plugging away, watching Instagram, posting fake buildings, dead babies, fake dead babies, of course.
Yeah, but we have never had social media broadcasts of the war before, and it's very revealing because they're showing us stuff.
And they're not showing us stuff. They're not showing so much.
And the stuff they're showing us, dozens of videos a day, does it not prove there's not a war going on, but it goes against the narrative. It's like, oh my God, they've been faking this.
And there's been have there been any shots of the Straits of Hormuz? Anything?
I don't believe so. They showed us some tankers that were on fire, and one of the tankers looks like it had been beached for about 20 years. It had rust all over it. It's like, that's an old tanker that you just set on fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all BS.
Did you see that? I mean, it's like that tanker has been sitting there for 20 years. It's all rusted out and everything. It's like, and so they're getting propaganda value out of it. And so that's what they do. They get this old equipment and they get propaganda value out of it. And it's the war profiteers, and they're making money even when the war is fake. They make money, and they may even make more money when the war is fake, I think. And so and that's what they're doing, in my opinion.
I agree with you, Phil. I
think if Uncle Adolf was here, I think he would agree. I think these people are
Uncle A,
Uncle war
Addy.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty soon they'll be saying Uncle Uncle Donald Trump. So careful.
No.
I don't know. There's a lot of fake leaders too, but anyway. We'll talk about that at another time. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Phil.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Have a good night. Bye. See ya. Thanks, guys. All right. Thanks, everyone. Fakeologist.com/donate. Please exchange value for value. And thanks to Phil. And thanks to our donors. We'll talk to you later.
Don't get me wrong. If I fall in the mode of fashion, it might be unbelievable, but let's not say so long. It might just be fantastic. Don't get me wrong.